I'm Samantha, and welcome to our one-year wedding series. Today, we're covering the second part of what you need to do 10 months away from your wedding. Last video, we covered the guest list, so now that you've got that out of the way, you can move on to booking vendors. There's a lot of things to book, so it's best to just start with the most important, the venue. You can't wait until last minute to find a venue because last minute location scouting can be stressful and expensive. Try utilizing word of mouth or look online for wedding spaces, but don't rule anything out if you haven't seen it in person. If the venue piques your interest even a little bit, try to visit the space to see if it has any potential. Even if the place is bare, you can always transform it with some decorations. But before you get there, call ahead about their deposit. That way, if you want to book a specific place and date ASAP, you can have the money prepared for when you visit. Once you get there, don't lose sight of your priorities. Your wedding is your special day, but don't let it cloud your judgment. Otherwise, you might miss out on a good venue. Once you check out the venue and you're still interested, get into the logistics. Start asking questions about rental fees, discounts, restrictions, accessibility, and liability insurance. Don't be afraid to negotiate, especially when it comes to price. And if it helps, try to be flexible about your dates. Venues like to charge more for weekends, so if it suits you, entertain the possibility of having your wedding on a Thursday. Be wary about a venue's policy regarding outside vendors and ask about any additional fees they may have. Once you've decided on a venue, make sure you get everything in writing. Nothing is set until you have a contract. Remember that. Now that you've gotten the venue out of the way, you can move on to your caterers. Searching for a caterer is, for the most part, pretty straightforward. Like looking for a venue, you'll want to do some research on caterers in the area and find a few caterers who best suit your event. Now comes the time to ask them all sorts of questions. Does the caterer have a license? Do they have your date open? Can they provide references from previous clients? Do they have a license to serve alcohol? And will they provide a banquet manager or an on-site coordinator? How much do they charge per person? And do they do wedding cakes? You want to ask as many questions as possible, ranging from drinks to business to presentation of the food. For a full list of questions, be sure to check online. Next is entertainment. You're going to associate whatever's playing with your wedding memories for a long time, so keep that in mind when searching for a band or DJ. Discuss with the location's manager any restrictions they may have regarding noise limits or music curfews. You can ask them similar questions to the one you asked your caterer, like, are they available on your wedding day? Do they have references? Or do they have any additional fees? On top of that, you should ask about equipment, music libraries, and necessary space. Whoever you choose to headline your wedding, remember to discuss with them beforehand the kind of music you want played at your ceremony and reception. After that, try searching for an officiant or minister. Just remember, an officiant and a minister aren't exactly the same thing. A minister is an ordained professional that has an education and credentials. Their credentials coming from a church or college that has enabled them to properly hold your ceremony. An officiant, on the other hand, is just someone who has completed some type of course or who has been taught how to perform a wedding. Their job is presiding over weddings, while a minister has other responsibilities. A minister is always an officiant, but an officiant is not always a minister. Remember that. Depending on your preference, look for an officiant or a minister with the proper credentials and ask questions when you get the chance. You want to be comfortable with the person you're entrusting your ceremony to. Last but not least, you want to book your photographer. Like everything else you've booked, you're going to want to do this early on because photographers agree to cover events months in advance. Before you start researching photographers, know the style of photos you want and be familiar with your venue and budget. That way, you can tell your photographer what you want and how much they're working with. Next, meet them in person and ask them a few questions about their prices, policies, and packages before making the final decision. In conclusion, locking down vendors and meeting all of your large expectations should be happening all in this time frame. This should take about 2 months to complete, so stay organized and stay focused. It'll all be worth it when you walk down that aisle. For more information, check out our website at EventDone.com. Good luck and happy wedding!